snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys! So I'm here today in my new filming position whilst I'm packing up all my stuff for uni. I don't have space in front of my other bookshelf, so I'm just filming in front of my TBR shelf, so I haven't read any of the books behind me. I'm going to do a bit of a different book review today because I'm actually going to be reviewing 4 independently published books, so I don't think any of these are on Goodreads. You can't look up ratings for them because they are small, indie published. They're not by like a big publishing company or anything, they're literally just published by the artists. And I picked all of these up in Gosh Comics in London the other day when I went, and I had a fantastic day out, picked up these 4 fabulous books, and then proceeded to come home and read them. So I'm going to tell you about each of these. They are called Epsilon, which is by Andy Poyadaji. Walks with Lulu, which is by Elizabeth Kuestret, and then the final 2 are Catzine issue 1 and issue 2, which are by Catriona Chapman. Let's start with Epsilon, which is the first one that I actually read. As I said, this is by Andy Poyadaji. It's a very, very tiny little book, as you guys can see, and it's basically about this little robot called Epsilon and the old man that he works for. And we don't really get a lot going on in the story. It's not very developed, but it's just a really, really tiny example of the artwork of the artist, and it sort of promises that there could be more to the story. It definitely focuses on this little robot and the professor that he's talking to, and between the 2 of them and their conversation you find out a little bit about what's gone on in the world to leave them in this situation where it's just the 2 of them talking on this planet that looks very hilly and rocky. Basically it is just a little example of this artist's work, and that is how I would like to consider it. I don't really consider it a story because it is just so incredibly short. It's only a few lines of text overall, and so it's definitely not a full-on story. But as an example of the artwork, I just think it's very, very beautiful, and I really enjoyed reading it even though it was just a tiny little snippet of a story and a tiny little snapshot of these 2 characters. So I did end up giving this a 3 out of 5 stars, and I think it's a very, very cute little one. I looked him up actually after I'd read it, and I think he has done some more short stories that are in a similar format to this, but maybe a little bit larger. This just seems to be a very small snapshot, so 3 out of 5 stars for this one, and yeah, it's just very, very cute and beautiful. Then I picked up this one, which is Walks with Lulu by Elizabeth Kuestret. I thought this was going to be a story about going on a walk with the dog Lulu, and it kind of is, but it also talks very deeply about depression and dealing with depression and how going out for walks and appreciating the small things in life really can help with depression. So even though this is, again, not that large, it's not got that many pages, and it is quite a short book, it really is thought-provoking, and I loved that it could do that in such a short amount of pages. As you go through the book, you basically follow this tiny little dog called Lulu. You don't see any people at any point in the book, you just see the dog, and I really, really enjoyed this. I love the art style. I think it's very, very beautiful. The colour scheme is fantastic with the mint green and the sort of lilac-y colours. It just works so, so well. And then you have these autumnal pages that are just exceptionally beautiful. I loved the different expressions of the dog and the different poses. It was really sweet, and I just thought that the text going alongside it was so personal and heartbreaking and sad, but equally it's quite motivational, it's quite therapeutic, and I did really enjoy reading this. So even though it is pretty short and you don't have a fantastic load of words, you get enough that you can really get a sense of the story and what the author and artist was trying to do, and I love that. So for this one I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I would highly recommend that you guys check this out if it appeals to you in the art style, because obviously that is the main focus, is the art, but the storyline was just really entertaining as well and quite thought-provoking. And then the next 2 that I have to talk about are Catzine issue 1 and 2. These are by Catriona Chapman, and I picked these up after seeing them laid out on the table. Mainly I really loved the cover designs at first, and then I realised that the inside is even more beautiful because I am a sucker for pencil drawing designs. I really, really love pencil work. It's something that I can do myself, and so I really do appreciate it when people have put time and effort into something really, really beautiful. and basically it's just a magazine type publication which is very, very beautifully produced. It's really good quality, and it's just by this lady called Catriona, and it's sort of just a rambling of her thoughts. All of her thoughts on various topics spill out onto the pages. You get these tiny little handwritten segments to go along with it. Some of them have more writing, some of them have more pictures, and I just found it so interesting, and really I connected with the character of Catriona, or I suppose the person, because she is a real person. I really connected with her and I felt like I was totally on the same wavelength as her. She really got what I liked, and she really was excellent at explaining these things that I had never before had an interest in, but she made me want to check them out. And so you get basically lots of little drawings. Each issue has a featured plant segment, and then they also have like a Sergey Talks, which is a boyfriend segment, and things like that, and it's all very, very well thought out and really beautifully designed. And you can buy these from her website, which is catriona.chapman.com, if you can't get into a local comic book shop that stocks them, because I don't think a lot of them will. But yeah, you can buy them from her website too. I really, really loved it. It was so, so good. And I think I gave this a 4.5 as well. This one collects satellites, Nova Scatia and plants in one issue, and then the second one goes on to talk about the wilderness, London buses and language, and I really enjoyed them both equally as much as each other, because just as much effort seems to have gone into this one as the first. As you guys can see, it's just very, very beautifully done, very well put together, some fantastic image work, fantastic layout and design and line management, and it's just so beautiful. I really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, again, really, really lovely, and I can't wait to see what she's going to bring out next. I think they come out quarterly, so I've got the March and the June one, and I think that means that in September there'll be another one coming out. I'm not sure exactly when, but I'm very excited, and I'm going to try and keep my eyes open and peeled for these on her website so that I can pick up the next one, because I think they're really, really beautiful, and I hope that I can continue getting them because they're really, really wonderful. So 4.5 stars for this one as well. Those are all of the independently published books that I've recently picked up and my thoughts on them. I would love to hear if you guys are interested in picking any of them up. I think the best way to find these is to look on the authors' websites, because that is, you know, the only place you can usually buy things like this, and it's quite lucky if you find them in comic book shops. But yeah, you can definitely check out their websites. I will put links to all the ones I find in the description box below so that you guys can go and do that, because I would love to promote them. I think they're just all beautiful, beautiful design work, and I picked these up just on a whim, not knowing if I was going to like them or not, and I ended up really enjoying all of them. So would highly recommend them. Would love to hear your thoughts on what I've shown you and whether you will be picking them up or investigating yourself. And if you have any recommendations of similar small indie published artist books or things like that that you think I would like, then definitely feel free to leave them in the comments as well. Thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you all very soon in another video. Bye! Me and you gonna have a little